Welcome to my channel, where your adventure into the future starts right now. Step into a vibrant universe filled with groundbreaking technology, breathtaking alien landscapes, and exhilarating sci-fi narratives that challenge your imagination. From daring explorations of distant galaxies to haunting journeys through dystopian societies, we uncover the most captivating stories and innovative ideas that will shape the world of tomorrow. Subscribe today and join us on an incredible intergalactic voyage that promises to inspire and thrill. Humanity's story is one of ingenuity, adaptability, and a profound connection to the land, to the elements, and, perhaps most surprisingly, to the kitchen. Long before humans set foot in the stars, they had mastered the art of cooking, an activity that transcended mere sustenance and became an expression of culture, creativity, and survival. It was an art form, a ritual, and, ultimately, an essential part of the human experience. But it wasn't just about nourishment for the body, it was about the way food brought people together, about the knowledge passed down through generations, and about the ways in which human innovation made even the simplest ingredients into something magical. Little did the galaxy know, when humanity began its foray into the cosmos, they were not only bringing technology, weapons, and knowledge with them, they were bringing something far more profound: cooking. The significance of food to humanity cannot be overstated. From the earliest days, cooking has been a central part of human culture. Before humans had the sophisticated tools or the refined culinary techniques that exist today, cooking was already shaping society. Early humans discovered that cooking made food more palatable, digestible, and nutritious. The development of fire, which allowed for the cooking of meat, roots, and vegetables, marked a pivotal moment in human evolution. Cooking gave early humans the ability to gain more nutrients from their food, thus supporting the growth of larger brains and more complex social structures. The transition from raw food to cooked food didn't just affect the body, it transformed culture. Meals became more than just nourishment, they were a source of social interaction, a time for family and community, a time to celebrate, mourn, and share knowledge. Recipes passed down from generation to generation became an integral part of humanity's cultural identity. The complex combination of flavors, textures, and aromas that humans learned to create from the most basic ingredients formed the foundation of a vibrant culinary tradition that spanned the entire globe. And when humanity finally reached for the stars, they brought that tradition with them, ready to share it with the alien civilizations they would meet. It wasn't an immediate or obvious choice, of course. In the early days of space exploration, the focus was primarily on survival: how to build space stations, how to survive on long voyages, and how to withstand the harsh conditions of outer space. Humanity's initial efforts were geared toward technology, life support systems, propulsion engines, and communication devices. Food was, at first, a matter of convenience and necessity. Freeze-dried meals, protein bars, and simple, pre-packaged foods were standard on early space missions. The idea of preparing elaborate meals seemed impractical, almost absurd, in the context of space travel. But humans, being what they are, never stayed content with the status quo. They were driven by curiosity, a desire to learn, and a deep-seated need to make life as rich and full as possible, even in the vast emptiness of space. It wasn't enough to simply survive; humans wanted to thrive. They wanted to taste the comforts of home, to recreate the experiences of sitting down to a warm meal with loved ones. And, most importantly, they wanted to share the art of cooking with the many alien species they were encountering. As humanity made contact with other civilizations, it quickly became apparent that their cooking skills, and the cultural richness that came with them, would become one of the most significant and unexpected aspects of their galactic presence. Many of the species humanity encountered had developed highly sophisticated technologies and systems, but when it came to food, they were often primitive or entirely reliant on biologically limited diets. For some, food was simply fuel, consumed in the most efficient and utilitarian way possible. For others, their planet's ecosystems and climates had shaped them to the point where they could only consume a narrow range of foods, often leading to malnutrition or stagnation. One of the first major breakthroughs occurred when humanity made contact with the Draxians, a bipedal, reptilian species that lived on a planet with an extremely hot, arid environment. The Draxians, like many species, had evolved to extract nutrients from the plants and animals that could survive in their harsh climate. Their food sources were simple, and their diet was largely based on raw, energy-dense substances. However, their limited diet was taking a toll on their long-term health, and their culinary culture was nearly non-existent. Their food was functional but lacked the variety and flavor that humans had developed over millennia. When the first human chefs were invited to the Draxian homeworld, they brought with them the art of cooking, a skill that would change the course of Draxian history. Initially, the Draxians were skeptical. They had never considered cooking their food. Their bodies, adapted to the harsh conditions of their planet, had never needed to cook to survive. But humans, always willing to innovate, began by introducing the Draxians to a new concept: cooking as an art, as a means to not just nourish the body, but to elevate the spirit and strengthen social bonds. The human chefs took some of the Draxian staples, protein-rich insects, hardy desert plants, and native fruits, and began experimenting. They introduced the concept of roasting and grilling, techniques that brought out the natural flavors of their foods and made them more palatable. They showed the Draxians how to marinate and season, infusing their meals with spices and herbs that the Draxians had never known. Slowly, a revolution began. The Draxians began to see food as more than just fuel. They saw it as an expression of culture, an experience, and a way to connect with one another. But the human culinary influence did not stop there. Over the years, as humanity's presence in the galaxy grew, they encountered countless other species, each with their own unique diets, ecosystems, and cultural traditions. Many of these species had never cooked food in the human sense of the word. Some, like the Telvanni, consumed a diet of nutrient-rich liquids that they absorbed through their skin. Others, like the Furrians, ate their meals raw, feeding off raw energy extracted directly from their planet's electromagnetic fields. And yet, the human approach to food and the act of cooking began to inspire them all. To the Telvanni, who lived in a liquid-rich, oceanic environment, cooking meant something entirely different. Their biology could not handle the process of solid food digestion, so for them, cooking was about transforming the nutrients in liquid form into something more flavorful and enriching. Human chefs and biologists worked with the Telvanni to develop specialized heat-based processes that enhanced the taste and nutrient profile of their liquid-based food sources. The Telvanni began to experiment with flavoring their ocean's natural algae and plant matter using human-developed methods of infusion, allowing them to enjoy a diverse array of tastes that went far beyond their ancient, unseasoned liquid diet. For the Furrians, who lived in a world where food was often consumed raw, it was the art of fermentation that caught their attention. The Furrians were fascinated by the concept of turning raw materials into something completely new and different. Fermented foods, which humans had perfected over millennia, like cheese, yogurt, and fermented vegetables, offered the Furrians new avenues for creativity. The concept of fermentation, which utilized bacteria and fungi to change the very nature of food, was something the Furrians could easily embrace, as their physiology had evolved to work with the ambient energy fields of their planet in a symbiotic way. As the Furrians began experimenting with human fermentation techniques, they discovered a whole new realm of flavors and textures that had previously been impossible. Human cooking was not only changing diets, it was transforming entire societies. The introduction of cooking techniques led to the development of new social practices. It wasn't just about eating. Mealtimes became a time for community, for storytelling, and for bonding. As humanity traveled the stars, they brought with them the traditions of the family meal, and these traditions took root in the cultures they encountered. The sharing of food became a universal act of friendship and diplomacy, a way for species to connect with one another across the vast distances of space. The process of cooking also had profound implications for the health and well-being of alien species. Many of the foods humans introduced to other species helped alleviate long-standing health issues. For instance, many species had suffered from malnutrition because their limited diets lacked crucial vitamins and minerals. With the human introduction of cooking, these species began to diversify their diets, leading to improved health outcomes and increased life expectancies. Cooking was no longer just a cultural exchange, it was a tool for survival, a means of ensuring that species could thrive in the ever-changing environments of the galaxy. As humanity continued to explore the stars, they introduced new cooking techniques to an ever-growing number of species. From the delicate art of baking to the complex science of sous vide, humanity brought a richness and depth to the culinary traditions of the galaxy that had never before been seen. And in turn, the galaxy's species reciprocated, introducing humans to new ingredients, spices, and cooking methods that broadened humanity's culinary horizons. What began as a simple act of survival, a way to make food more edible, became a defining aspect of humanity's role in the galaxy. The cooking revolution that humanity brought to the stars wasn't just about feeding the body, it was about nourishing the soul. It was about creating connections, celebrating diversity, and bringing species together. Through food, humanity made their mark on the galaxy, not just as explorers or conquerors, but as cultural ambassadors who shared the simple, yet profound joy of a good meal. As the galaxy continued to expand, one thing became abundantly clear: humanity had brought more than just their technological prowess to the stars. They had brought the heart of their civilization, the art of cooking, and with it, a new way for all species to connect, grow, and thrive.